Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are tuning in around the world. My name is Lyndsae Peele, also known as the Kingdom Wealth Connector, and welcome to another episode of Kingdom Conversations, here in our space where faith, family, and finances intersect to empower underestimated entrepreneurs. Here, we engage in bold, transformative discussions designed to equip you with the social, human, and financial capital needed to start, grow, and to sustain your business. If you are a recent listener with us, then we welcome you and thank you for joining in. But if you are a part of the Kingdom Wealth Collective family and you already know how we do, then you know our mission is to strengthen entrepreneurial ecosystems through courageous conversations, financial healing, and wealth building strategies that prioritize community, legacy, and faith-driven success. This is more than a podcast. It's a movement. Today, we are super excited for our very special guest. If you have not heard of her before, then you are in for a treat. Grab your notebooks, your pens, your pads, whatever you feel comfortable with taking notes with, and get ready for a really engaging conversation. Today, we have Miss Lakesha Bunn. She is a coach, a mentor, advocate, and spiritual advisor to modern day women who are working and doing all of the things. She is an event planner by day, and she helps support women find their dreams by night. For years, she has always empowered others and has been a visionary, using her gifts that help increase the talents to help women face their fears. She is the creative director of The Table, a women's empowerment event to help women of color with tools to tackle the mind, body, and soul. Lakesha is also the CEO and founder of Polished Events LLC, a full-service event planning studio in the DMV area. Miss Lakesha, we welcome you to the stage.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome, Queen. We are so happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
Listen, I know that you do all of the things for yourself and your businesses, and we are excited to learn more about it. If you could, Lakesha, just briefly introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what do you do, and why do you do what you do beyond your bio?
Listen, you didn't said a lot. You didn't told a lot. I have a lot of hats that I play, but I am a mother, I'm a wife, I am a child of God, I am a businesswoman, and God has planted in me gifts to love on women and to actually help them, with their business and their purpose in life. So I'm just happy to do what I do.
I love that. And thank you for mentioning your gifts, because here in Kingdom Conversations, we believe in all of us have something to pour out there into the world. And I believe firmly in being great stewards of our gifts. And in
Yeah.
order to be a good steward, you have to actually use it. There are so many people who are afraid to use their voice, who are afraid of the gifts they have. So thank you for mentioning that. And honestly, let's start the conversation there. When did you realize that you had gifts that you wanted to offer to women?
So I learned at an early age. My mom, used to do a lot of things at church. And so I used to like help out with like the banquets and all that stuff. And that turned into me, like the event planning side of me and helping out with the neighborhood parties and all of that. So that turned into from me helping planning things to actually utilizing my gifts as a planner to help build other avenues and things to build women as well.
So it sounds like your family, your church home, they had a garden
Yes.
that you were allowed to till in, to try in, to pull, and really doing that work, right? Where it sounds like you probably started to do it without a paycheck. right? Because
Mhm.
sometimes we start, right? That's how we sometimes are able to understand and identify those gifts. And as a child, you got to discover that. And look at where you are now.
Yep, yep, yep.
So, listen, I just want to take this other question, right? If you had a moment to speak
Mhm.
to little girl Lakesha, right, who was
Mhm.
starting working in those events, who might
Mhm.
have gotten tired, who might have been hungry every now and then, who wanted to go play with their friends, but they had to do a little bit of work, what would you tell her based on who you have become today?
If you only can see yourself 30 years later, you'll be very proud of yourself, to not give up.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be some challenges, but to always keep going, to believe in yourself, and, just to always trust God, you know,
Yeah.
through the processes. But you got it. But you got it.
Whew. And I'm telling
Mhm.
you, Lakeisha, to continue to trust God because you got
Mhm.
it. You're already doing it, right? But there is so much more that He's going to continue to bless you with because you have been a great steward all of this while
Mhm.
and because you recognize that you have gifts that you have to share with the world.
Mhm.
So in this conversation, we have so much more to get started. So for those of you who are listening in, you want to ask Lakesha some questions in our follow-up, do not hesitate to drop them in our chat. Feel free to DM us. Let us know in the comments how you're feeling and what you may want to know from Lakesha. But Lakesha,
Mhm.
I want to go here, okay? Because you are an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
And it sounds like you got bit by the entrepreneurial bug early. So tell
Mhm.
us about your role and your the role that entrepreneurship has played in your life, but also in creating generational wealth for your family. Tax credits worth thousands of dollars are going unclaimed while families are struggling to afford rent, groceries, and everyday essentials. The truth is, the system isn't always easy to navigate, and too often it leaves behind the people who need support the most. That's where Spaces in Action comes in. They're a grassroots nonprofit fighting for policies that put real money back into the hands of families where it belongs. Want to be a part of the solution? Join the Tax Defender campaign today. Visit spaceinaction.org to learn more or donate at bit.ly/donate to SIA to support the movement. Together, we can turn awareness into action.
Well, I mean, entrepreneurship played a role early. I grew up in a hair salon industry. And so me and my sisters. And so watching, my sisters, work and my mom work in that industry, I end up, like finding my own path, being working in the coat closet and taking people coats. And so that was my first job, like sweeping. And then that turned into like washing hair. So I always had the bug to work. It was always in me. The hustle was always in me. Didn't know where it was going to take me later down the line, but it was always instilled in me.
Yeah.
And so generational wealth, I think that is so important. I think that it's important to our culture as a whole. I think that as a culture, we're so behind on a lot of things, behind on tools, behind on the fundamental part in generational wealth. And I think that we worry about the now, and I think that we need to have long conversations about like living in having the crab in a barrel mentality, right? And then why is it that other cultures can live together? Why is it
Yeah.
other cultures can build together? When it comes to trust and wills, are they already progressed in that area with college, with their kids? Why is it that that's already done, and that we would just worry about the now when we need to worry about the right when, and not only for ourselves, for our family, but for our community and for our culture.
So you said a mouthful, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, which part do we jump in at, Lyndsae? Because first of all, you're right, right? As a culture, as Black and brown people, but specifically, right, as Black people, we are behind. And a lot of it, we also have to admit, is not at our own fault, right? Because the
Mhm.
systems were designed to keep us behind.
Yeah.
However, right, in 2026, when we have every tool at our
Mhm.
fingertips, where we have Google College and YouTube University and
Yeah.
ChatGPT, Claude Academy, and everything else out there, we can
Mhm.
absolutely start to really advance ourselves intellectually, emotionally,
Mhm.
physically, to make sure that we can actually move. But a lot of us are honestly stuck, right?
Yeah.
We're stuck in the mindset part, right? Where some of us don't even see ourselves as worthy enough to do the things,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
some of us don't even feel like we can be the first, or it's too hard to be the first. But at some point, right? At some point, we're going to have to be okay with being the first. We're going to have to be okay with addressing those challenges, because we see it all the time. There are so many cultures who are willing to band together, right? You have some communities where that's their community. Everything in that community belongs to somebody in their community, right? They might have their own barbershop. They might have their own dry cleaners, their own restaurants, right? And people know when you're in that area, that's their area, and they spend their money in their communities. You
Mhm.
might have 6, 7 people, multiple generations living in the house, because you got grandma who's watching the kids while this family is going out there to work to create that revenue, and then they buy another house and do it all
Yeah.
over again. But sometimes it's hard to get us on that wave, because
Mhm.
you're right, right? The crabs in the barrel mentality is still something that plagues our community. And honestly, I said that COVID showed us a lot of things.
Mhm.
This is not a political show, okay? Let me be clear. But I think we're also seeing a lot happening in Washington, D.C., I'll say, and surrounding, that should also be showing us something too, that
Yeah.
we need each other more now than
Mhm.
ever before.
Mhm.
Than ever
Yeah.
before. Let me ask Lakesha, especially because I know that, as a spiritual advisor, you're pouring into women. When you're having these conversations with women and they feel stuck, right? How do you go about massaging that, but also helping them to feel comfortable with moving through that stuckness?
So ultimately, they they have to want it, right? Ultimately, they have to want better for themselves. And I can speak to them all day. I can, tell them, to trust God, all of that, but they have to want it for themselves. I'm going to give you an example for something. Like when I was younger, my mom, like I was a spoiled child. Like anything I asked her for, like she gave it to me, asked her for money, she gave it to me, right? Whether that was good or not, you know, that's another story, right? But it wasn't until I left the home on my own and I had to become a young adult on my own. And I don't know if you remember NSFs, right? Non-sufficient
Mm-hmm.
funds.
Yep.
And I used to have them all the time. Every month I used to have them. And it wasn't until and I remember distinctly like kept asking my sisters, like, could they help me out? And it's not until you are tired of being tired, you know, when things starts to change. You have to want more for yourself in order to change. And so that's all I would say. Like you have to want more, not
Yeah.
only for yourself, but for your family, you know, for the generation after your children. You have to want more.
I take a breath, because that's important. And I think that for a lot of folks, especially even when I'm financially consulting clients, a lot of them struggle with wanting to want more, because they've
Mhm.
never felt comfortable dreaming before. They've
Mhm.
never had the permission to think beyond what they've seen or what they've been exposed to.
Yeah.
But it's true that they gotta want it in order for change to actually happen, you know?
Mhm,
I appreciate that. Let me ask you this. How
mhm,
are you, right? Especially as, a family builder, right? A kingdom
mhm,
builder is what you are. How are you making sure that your family and your
mhm.
household, how are you making sure they are understanding these concepts and these thoughts about business and leadership and the importance of wanting more so that we do more?
So we get together. It's not always, but when we do get together, me and my girls and my husband, when we get together, we have dinners and we have long conversations. We talk about their to-do list, their plans for the future, all of that. We have real hard conversations. Not only do we have those conversations, but I put them to work. So they see what we do. Like they see, our hustle, they see the ups and the downs. They see, the long days, that we spend at work, So they see it. Now, I do have to say I have 3 girls, right? I have 3 girls, 3 different personalities. They want 3 different things. I cannot say that they going to want the same thing that we want, right? But what I do expect for them is to observe, to build,
Yep.
right? To
Yep.
prepare and to plan for their next, whatever
Yeah.
that is. So
Yeah.
that's all I ask for them. That's all I
Yeah.
ask for them.
Yeah. One thing that you mentioned that stuck with me in the very beginning of your response was that you sit at the table and have these
Mhm.
conversations. First of all, that's the starting point, right? And second of
Mhm.
all, so many of us are even missing that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
A lot
Mhm.
of us don't have those safe spaces to sit at the dinner table and to
Mhm.
talk with our parents and, family members about what we might want or what we think we want because we probably gonna change their minds later. I don't know how old your girls are, but they might change their minds 2 or 3 times from
Yeah,
now, right? But
yeah.
you've given them permission. You've given
Mhm.
them a blueprint and you're showing them by example. So one, I applaud you and your husband, but also two, I pray, right, that your babies understand the value in just sitting and having those conversations because that's the first level of exposure, right? That is the
Mhm.
first level of, okay, this is a comfortable conversation. And I
Mhm.
think I reference, coming back to me and my financial consulting clients a lot because for a number of them, they've never had money conversations at the table. And
Mhm.
I can often tell in our financial engagements whether they have or whether they haven't because
Mhm.
it depends on their level of comfortability in the
Yeah.
conversation, right?
Mhm.
Even if I don't care if your baby changed their minds 10 times, right? At least you know that they're comfortable in those conversations in the house, but you can also trust and best believe that even when they're at brunch with their friends or they're going out or just sitting, that they might be the ones helping to spark those
Mhm.
conversations in their friend groups because y'all showed them what that
Yeah,
looks like.
yeah, yeah.
And that's so important. I love that. For a for parents who are out there who
Mhm.
feel like they don't have it or they don't know enough to get started, how do you encourage them to just get started with the conversations with their children?
I think they have to find a way. Well, I love food, right? So that's my outing. Like, let's sit down, let's prepare a dinner together. Let's and then once we prepare dinner, let's have these conversations. But find a way that that you something that you love doing and find that outing to have that comfortable sacred place with your kids so they can open up and have that conversation with you about their
Yeah.
needs and about what they
Yeah.
want. Mhm.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good. I think one of the biggest things is just starting with something that you're already comfortable with,
Yeah.
right? One thing about it is that we gotta eat. And I'm like you, I love food, okay? But that's something that you know it has to happen, right? And
Mhm.
you're comfortable with that. So for my listeners who are out there who are nervous and you just don't know where to start with something, right?
Yeah.
That feels comfortable and natural to your family. If your
Mhm.
family doesn't naturally just sit at the dinner table and eat, that might not be great. But if y'all go out on family walks, right? Or hikes or a picnic or whatever, just start sparking the conversation there. And one thing I'll say too, I'm not a parent as of yet, but one thing that I appreciate is that my parents showed me that they don't have to know it all either. Right?
Mhm.
I
Yep.
think sometimes as children, we see our parents as superheroes and they know everything, but as parents, you got to let them know that I might not know it all. One, we never will know everything, but also
Mhm.
two, letting them feel comfortable in hearing you say that so that they also know that you might be learning along with them, right?
Yeah.
We're teaching and learning at the same time, and they also might be able to teach you something one day too.
That's right. That's right. And it
I
also, they
love
have these
Mhm.
games out now, like card games, like that's
Yep.
another way of like open that door. Mhm.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
You are creating your family legacy even just by having these conversations. And I appreciate that. Speaking of legacy, Lakesha, what does legacy mean to you? What does that feel like? What
Mhm.
does that look like in your life?
So, my theme for the table is to leave no woman behind, right? And God has instilled that in me. What that looks like, how it's going to, be done in the future, I don't know, right? But I do know that that's something, what legacy looks like to me. Legacy also looks like taking care of making sure my family is good, not taking care of them, making sure that they're good, making sure that they have all of the right tools in place where they can financially take care of themselves. And I think that that's the legacy,
Yeah.
building off of the table as an umbrella and having different avenues where I am creating a space for different women.
I love that. So let's talk about the table, okay?
Oh,
Lakeisha, tell
great.
our audience, what is the table? What's the
Yeah.
mission? Why does it exist, right? And what can they expect when
Mhm.
they purchase their tickets? Because they're gonna purchase their tickets.
Yes. So the table is part of my why. It was created, from my mom. She was a workaholic, like a lot of brown and black women in the community, and she always gave back to me and my sisters, her jobs. I'm saying with the S's at the end, and um, she never, I felt, never did for herself. And she passed away from breast cancer. And I wanted to utilize my skills as an event planner to be a vessel to women who look just like my mom, women who look like myself, who had their child at the age of 17, know what to do. Right? Maybe the women who know their purpose, but just don't know how to get there, just need a community to help them get there. So that's what the table is about. I also created the table as an outing, right? Because I was still grieving my mom. And so the table is just a structure for me to be able to celebrate, right? In a great way. So the table is a celebration. Um, it's a community. We talk about those hard conversations that we are afraid to talk about in the community: financial literacy, generational wealth, breaking cycles. I have a background in the church, so you get that feeling, as well. It's a community, it's sisterhood, it's empowerment, it's a movement, and it's happening.
Listen, she said, I don't know if y'all heard it, okay, but she said she grew up in the church. So she said, you going to feel that. What she meant was the spirit is going to be in the room. It is going to meet you where you are. So we need to make sure that you get there. Lakeisha, tell them how to buy their tickets, how to stay in touch with you and the
Mhm.
table and all of the things, because we want them to purchase right now, even while they're listening, because we
Yeah.
all know we know how to multitask.
So they can go to lakeishabunn.com to get all of the information, to learn about me, my background, learn about the table, and the ticket information will be there. This year, we, provided a source where you can do like Klama, the Afterpay, all of that. I meet you where you're at, and it's a great space. And if you haven't been there, please come so you can be able to feel the presence in the room, because it's definitely something that you will want to experience.
Listen, I need you all while you're listening, okay? Because we're not going to stop the episode. While you are listening, just swipe up, right? Go to another tab, type in Lakesha Bunn, that's LAKESHABUNN.com, and go and purchase your ticket. And you know what? Be a good friend. Don't come by yourself, okay? Bring someone with you, because you do not want to get all of this goodness alone, okay? It takes a village to make sure that we have what we need, not just to raise a child, but to also groom us as adults, to refine and to prune us. We need a village. We need a tribe. Bring yours with you. You are part of the women's ministry at your church. I need you to let them know to meet us there. I am super excited to be a partner with Lakesha and her team this year for the table. We'll be doing a live podcast episode, workshop, and so much more, but you have to be in the room to come and feel that feeling, to come and get a taste. And the goal is to make sure that you leave restored and whole, okay? We're not saying that life is going to change overnight, right? Because that's unrealistic, but you can start the changing process within yourself that starts to manifest in everything else that you touch. So make sure that you go to that website right now. Don't remind yourself later, because you're going to forget. She says she got multiple payment plan options for you, but LAKESHABUNN.com to make sure that you meet us there at the table. Now, Lakesha, I want to ask you another question, okay? What will make you feel like, you know what, we did it? As your women are leaving the table after this event, what's going to make you feel like we did it?
I'm laughing because I'm always hard on myself. Like every year, I'm like, okay, well, how can I do this? But um, I always base my experiences off of people. So I would say the having relationships, not only is it about the audience, the people coming, but it's also about the speakers as well too. You guys building rapport with each other. But I always I need a tear. I need some tears. I need that. The tears is what shows me that someone's growing. That's what gets me. I'm sorry. But yeah, I like to feel the healing being processed. So I would say that's my answer
Okay.
in a weird way.
Lakesha says she want to see some conviction in the room.
Yeah.
She wants you to hear something that, ooh, that feels good to the heart, that massages the heart. It might make you clutch your pearls, which that's okay. Bring all of that, right? But most importantly, she want to see you impacted by what's happening around you. And the biggest way for you to do that, right? What do they tell us when it comes to church? Come expect something. Don't just come and think that this is just another regular event. Don't come to just be a spectator because you looking to host your own event. We don't need none of that, okay? We need you coming to expect that you are going to receive something that you're going to walk away with that can be life-changing for you. Because when you come expecting, you're going to always walk away with something. Always walk away with something. So
Mhm.
guess what? My first expectation before I even get into the room is that y'all are going to meet me there because you're going to buy those tickets at LakeshaBunn.com. That's the first expectation, is you're going to meet me there. The second expectation is that y'all are going to be open. Arms are going to be open. Hearts are going to be open. Okay. And if
Gosh.
you ever, all of it, the right heart posture. Okay. And me and Lakesha, we don't give that mean girl energy. Okay. So go ahead
Mhm.
and leave that at the door. I know that sometimes we can be a little nervous. If this is your first time engaging with us, we are creating a safe space for you to come.
Mhm.
But most importantly, come knowing that you are worth the investment.
Yeah,
You're worth the investment.
I love that.
So, Lakesha,
Yes, ma'am.
before we come to one of my last questions, I want to ask you, what do you want to leave our audience with today?
Mm.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is sometimes people think that maybe their spouse is the one, their children is the one, maybe their cousins or someone, but how about you are the one? You are the one that God planted on this earth to get your family out of debt.
Yes.
That
Yes.
you are the one to, you know, remove to teach your family about NSF, right? All of that. But you are the one. And sometimes we think that it's the whole time it's someone else, but no, it's you. It's
Mm.
you. So just to acknowledge that, to accept that, and to listen to God when he tells you that you are the one.
Yeah.
Because so I had to learn that I
Yeah.
am the one.
Yeah.
So that I would say that.
Ooh, that was a mic drop moment. Okay. I don't think they need anything else. Ladies, know when you are the one. And I'll say, don't be afraid of being the one.
Yeah.
It's okay to be called, to be chosen as the
Mhm.
one. Walk in
Mhm.
it,
Yeah.
cry in it, strut through it, all of the things. But know that when you are the one, when you've been called, when you've been chosen, when you have been
Mhm.
ordained for such a time as this to do whatever it is that you know that the Lord has been calling you to do,
Mhm.
oh baby, as soon as you are comfortable with being the one, the doors the doors will open. Okay. The opportunities will present themselves, but you got to be okay with being the one.
Gotta want it. And gotta
You
want
got
it.
to want it. And you have to want it, because what, heavy is the head that wears the crown. A lot of
Mm.
us want the crown, right? We want that. But we don't always want the work and the headache and the bills and the everything
Ooh.
else that come with it. That's a whole nother topic for a conversation. But
Mhm.
you gotta want it. Most importantly, want it, right? Because God said that it's yours and it's a
Yep.
part of your birthright.
Mhm.
And that it's already yours when you seek him first. Listen, we ain't
Yep.
gonna take him to church today, but y'all already getting just a piece of what you are going to experience next month, okay, for the Table Women's Conference. I need everyone to stop what you're doing. Make sure you go to LakeshaBunn.com to purchase those tickets today. We have so much in store for you. I know
Mhm.
we laughed. I know we joked. There might be some tears too bubbling inside, and you're going to get all of that in person.
Mhm. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
ready to love on you. We're ready to affirm you. We are ready to edify you. But most importantly, we're also championing behind you being
Yeah.
the one. Now, Lakesha, my last question for you today.
Okay.
Well, second to the last.
Mhm.
If you had an opportunity
Mhm.
to sit with your mom as you prepare for the table, what would you tell her?
Are you proud of me?
Hmm. Are you proud of you, Lakesha?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And know that she is too.
Mhm.
Know
Thank
that. Mama don't want you to be hard on yourself. We all have things that we can improve on, right? But let this year be that year where instead of looking for opportunities to do this different for next year or we're not looking for imperfections this year.
Mhm.
And this is me pouring right back into you like you pour into those women. You are the one, Lakesha. You are doing what God called you to do.
Mhm.
Mama is proud of you, but God is also proud of you and thankful for you to answering to the call, because there are a lot of people who receive the calls and don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
You're doing it. So it's already done. It's already done, and it's already done well. Don't you forget that.
Thank you.
Of
Thank
course. Now tell our people how they can follow you, find you on all of the social media. I know. Lyndsae, you ain't come here, Lakesha, to have the tears rolling today. You was supposed to prepare the people for it. But here at Kingdom Conversations, I don't want y'all to think, okay,
you.
that we're not going to pour into our guests as well, because it's about full circle moments in here. So let them know how they can find you, keep up with all of the things that you have going on in your world.
Yes, ma'am. Again, they can reach me. Well, the website is LakeshaBunn.com. My event planning website is Polished Events One. And then on IG, they can reach me at Polished. Lord, I always
Polished events.
Events. Oh my God.
Yeah.
My daughters always help me out. But yes, Polished Events. But that's part of her job. So yes, that's all of the avenues.
Listen, and what we do as a village, let me go to Instagram right now. It is correct. It is Polished Events One. Okay. So make sure y'all go on IG, go to her website, Polished Events One. Make sure you follow her. Make sure that you show this queen some love. But y'all also know the most important call to action, right? Go and buy those tickets to meet us at the table. Lakesha, it has been such an honor and such a blessing to have you here with us. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your world, your light, your love, and the table with us. I'm so excited for the end of July. I cannot hardly wait. And to all of our audience members, we look forward to you all meeting us there. As you already know, okay, when we talk about money with love, honesty, faith, we don't just build wealth, we build trust, we build community, and we build the kingdom. And remember, this is just the beginning for all of us. Thank you all for being here with us today. Follow us on Instagram at _Kingdom Conversations. Make sure that you also subscribe to our YouTube and every other place that you watch it and listen to your podcast so that you do not miss an episode. And if today's conversation resonated with you, if you have a question for Lakesha and her family, please do not hesitate to shoot us an email at info@kingdomvisionconsult.com. You can also DM us or leave a comment right here. But also share this conversation with someone. You do not know who needs to hear what we just discussed today. You may be a part of someone else's breakthrough. Okay. I also want to challenge each and every one of you today to just take a moment this week to write down one goal that you have so that you pray on that goal. We pray on that goal. We hold it close to us, speak life into that goal, and trust that with wisdom, faith, and action that you will get there. And most importantly, that we will meet you at the table to talk about building these lasting legacies together. You all have an amazing rest of your day on purpose, and we'll see you on our next episode.